Namo Narayana, welcome back. Today we're working our way through chapter 24, chanting the song sung by Lord Shiva. Before we go into that, apologies due to the angular nature of this video. I'm not trying to be funky or anything like that, but I just needed a different background for my own sake. And when you live in a small apartment, which I do because it's cheap, and cheap is, hard to find where I live. It can be hard to find a place to record where you don't have windows and things and whatever and furniture and all that stuff. I wish I had a big house where I could just keep my camera permanently set up, but I don't, so mind the Salvador Dali approach today. It is not reflective of the meaning of what we're about to read. We're starting with verse 26. And actually, if the Salvador Dali approach is reflective of what we're about to read, well then, that's a surprise on me. Here we go. Lord Shiva became very pleased with the prasetas because generally Lord Shiva is the protector of pious persons and persons of gentle behavior. Being very much pleased with the princes, he began to speak as follows. You are all sons of Prajapati, and I wish all good fortune to you. I also know what you are going to do, and therefore I am visible to you just to show my mercy upon you. Any person who is surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, the controller of everything, material nature as well as the living entity, is actually very dear to me. A person who executes his occupational duty properly for 100 births becomes qualified to occupy the post of Brahma, and if he becomes more qualified, he can approach Lord Shiva. A person who is directly surrendered to Lord Krishna or Vishnu in unalloyed devotional service is immediately promoted to the spiritual planets. Lord Shiva and other demigods attain these planets after the destruction of the material world. You are all devotees of the Lord, and as such, I appreciate that you are as respectable as the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. I know in this way that the devotees also respect me, and that I am dear to them. Thus, no one can be as dear to the devotees as I am. Now I shall chant one mantra, which is not only transcendental, pure, and auspicious, but is the best prayer for anyone who is aspiring to attain the ultimate goal of life. When I chant this mantra, please hear it carefully and attentively. The sage Maitreya continued the narration. Out of his causeless mercy, the exalted personality, Lord Shiva, a great devotee of Lord Narayana, continued to speak to the king's sons, who were standing with folded hands before him. Lord Shiva said the following prayer. O Supreme Personality of Godhead, all glories unto you. You are the most exalted of all self-realized souls. Since you are always auspicious for the self-realized, I wish that you be auspicious for me. You are worshipable by virtue of all perfect instructions you give. You are the super soul, therefore I offer my obeisances unto you as a supreme living being. My Lord, you are the origin of the creation by virtue of the lotus flower which sprouts from your navel. You are the supreme controller of the senses and the sense objects, and you are also the all-pervading Vasudeva. You are most peaceful, and because of your self-illuminated existence, you are not disturbed by the 6 kinds of transformations. My dear Lord, you are the origin of the subtle material ingredients, the master of all integration, as well as the master of all disintegration, the predominating deity named Sankarashana, and the master of all intelligence, known as the predominating deity Pradyumna. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. My Lord, as the supreme directing deity known as Aniruddha, you are the master of the senses and the mind. I therefore offer my obeisances unto you again and again. You are known as Anatta, as well as Sankarashana, because of your ability to destroy the whole creation by the blazing fire from your mouth. My Lord, you are the authority by which the doors of the higher planetary systems and liberation are opened. You are always within the pure heart of the living entity. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. You are the possessor of semen, which is like gold, and thus in the form of fire. You helped the Vedic sacrifices, beginning with Katahotra. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. My lord, you are the provider of the Pitralokas as well as all the demigods. You are the predominating deity of the moon and the master of all the Vedas. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you because you are the original source of satisfaction for all entities. My dear lord, you are the gigantic universal form which contains all the individual bodies of the living entities. You are the maintainer of the three worlds, and as such you maintain the mind, senses, body, and air of life within them. I therefore offer my respectful obeisance unto you. My dear lord, by expanding your transcendental vibrations, you reveal the actual meaning of everything. You are the all-pervading sky within and without, and you are the ultimate goal of pious activities executed both within this material world and beyond it. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you. My dear lord, you are the viewer of the results of pious activities. You are inclination, disinclination, and the resultant activities. You are the cause of the miserable conditions of life caused by irreligion, and therefore you are death. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. My dear lord, you are the topmost of all bestowers of all benediction, the oldest and supreme enjoyer among all enjoyers. You are the master of all worlds, metaphysical philosophy, for you are the supreme cause of all causes. Lord Krishna, you are the greatest of all religious principles, the supreme mind, and you have a brain which is never checked by any condition. Therefore I repeatedly offer my obeisances unto you. My dear lord, you are the supreme controller of the worker, sense activities, and results of sense activities, that being karma. Therefore, you are the controller of the body, mind, and senses. You are also the supreme controller of egotism, known as Rudra. You are the source of knowledge and the activities of the Vedic injunctions. My lord, I wish to see you exactly in the form that your very dear devotees worship. You have many forms, but I wish to see your form that is especially liked by the devotees. Please be merciful upon me and show me that form, for only that form worshipped by the devotees can perfectly satisfy all the demands of the senses. The Lord's beauty resembles a dark cloud during the rainy season. As the rainfall glistens, his bodily features also glisten. Indeed, he is the sum total of all beauty. The Lord has 4 arms, and an exquisitely beautiful face with eyes like lotus petals, a beautiful highly raised nose, a mind-attracting smile, a beautiful forehead, and equally beautiful and fully decorated ears. The Lord is super excellently beautiful on account of his open and merciful smile and his sidelong glance upon his devotees. His black hair is curly, and his garments, waving in the wind, appear like flying saffron pollen from lotus flowers. His glittering earrings, shining helmet, bangles, garland, ankle bells, waist belt, and various other bodily ornaments combined with conch shell, disc, club, and lotus flower to increase the natural beauty of the Kaustubha pearl on his chest. The Lord has shoulders just like a lion's. Upon these shoulders are garlands, necklaces, and epaulets, and all these are always glittering. Besides these, there is the beauty of the Kaustubhamani pearl, and on the dark chest of the Lord there are streaks named Srivatsa, which are the signs of the goddess of fortune. The glittering of these streaks excels the beauty of the golden streaks on a gold testing stone. Indeed, such beauty defeats a gold testing stone. The Lord's abdomen is beautiful, due to 3 ripples in the flesh. Being so round, his abdomen resembles the leaf of a banyan tree, and when he exhales and inhales, the movement of the ripples appears very, very beautiful. The coils within his navel of the Lord are so deep that it appears that the entire universe sprouted out of it, and he again wishes to go back. The lower part of the Lord's waist is dark and covered with yellow garments, and a belt bedecked with golden embroidery work. His symmetrical lotus feet and calves, thighs, and joints of his legs are extraordinarily beautiful. Indeed, the Lord's entire body appears to be well built. My dear Lord, your 2 lotus feet are so beautiful that they appear like 2 blossoming petals of the lotus flower which grows during the autumn season. Indeed, the nails of your lotus feet emanate such great effulgence that they immediately dissipate all the darkness in the heart of a conditioned soul. My dear Lord, kindly show me the form of yours, which always dissipates all kinds of darkness in the heart of a devotee. My dear Lord, you are the supreme spiritual master of everyone. Therefore, all conditioned souls covered with the darkness of ignorance can be enlightened by you as the spiritual master. My dear Lord, those who desire to purify their existence must always engage in meditation upon your lotus feet as described above. My dear Lord, those who desire to purify their existence must always engage in meditation upon your lotus feet as just described. Those who are serious about executing their occupational duties and want freedom from fear must take to this process of Bhakti Yoga. My dear Lord, the king in charge of the heavenly kingdom is also desirous of obtaining the ultimate goal of life, devotional service. Similarly, you are the ultimate destination of those who identify themselves with you. However, it is very difficult for them to attain you, whereas a devotee can very easily attain your lordship. My dear Lord, pure devotional service is even difficult for liberated persons to discharge, but devotional service alone can satisfy you. Who will take to other processes of self-realization if he is actually serious about the perfection of life? Similarly, by expansion of his eyebrows, invincible time personified can immediately vanquish the entire universe. However, formidable time does not approach the devotee who is taking complete shelter at your lotus feet. If one by chance associates with a devotee even for a fraction of a moment, he no longer is subject to attraction by the results of karma or jhana. What interest then can he have in the benedictions of the demigods, who are subject to the laws of birth and death? My dear Lord, your lotus feet are the cause of all auspicious things, and the destroyer of all the contamination of sin. I therefore beg your lordship to bless me by the association of your devotees, who are completely purified by worshipping your lotus feet, and who are so merciful upon the conditioned souls. I think that your real benediction will be to allow me to associate with such devotees. We're going to pause here. I'm not going to say anything either. I'm just going to end the video here because this is just praise and praise and praise by Lord Shiva. This also is giving the argument indirectly that Lord Shiva is not the utmost. I mean, it clearly says Krishna is. So this feeds into that argument between Shiva and Vaishnava, who is bigger, is it Shiva or Vishnu? And while some may think that's a petty debate because all gods are one, on the other hand, it's a very lively debate, and this just adds to it. But this validates the argument that Lord Shiva is the greatest devotee of Lord Vishnu. So, that being said, we will pause here at verse 58 and pick it up and finish this up in the next video. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.